yeah, I'm gonna be thinking about it for a long time. Like, I just feel, oh, the end. But you know what? I really wanted to read it, so there we go. Hello and welcome to my Moving Diaries episode 2. This is my last week in this house, so I'm currently like finishing packing my books and getting them all in boxes, never to be seen again, at least for like a month. So I have pulled a bunch of books aside. These are books that I think I might want to read in the next month. I grabbed a lot. I'm definitely not reading this many. So I thought it'd be fun to just sit down and show you which books I've pulled aside and which ones are like on my immediate TBR. And we'll just see what I actually get to this month. So I move into my permanent living situation towards the end of September. And so I have about 25 days to just see how many books I get to. I'm not like such a fast reader or anything. I feel like I average about 5 books a month maybe. And so I have a lot pulled aside, definitely more than I'll get to, but I'm a mood reader, so I really just need options. But yeah, let's just start and go through the books I've pulled aside. First, I have The Gilded Wolves. I spun this for my TBR wheel video, so I pulled this aside. I actually have been meaning to read this book for so long. Everyone compares it to Six of Crows, so I'm like, okay, I love Six of Crows. I'm hoping to love this book. I'm hoping it's not like copy-paste Six of Crows, but I am hoping it gives me that feeling, so we will see. Next, I have Curse of the Wolf King by Cassandra Odette. I believe this is actually technically the first book in the Entangled with Fae series. I have read Heart of the Raven Prince, which I think is actually the second book, but they're like interconnected standalones, so I don't think it matters too much which order you read them in. But I do have this one. I feel like just in case I'm wanting to read a fairy tale-esque fantasy romantasy book, I have this. I have The Ministry of Time by Kayleen Bradley. Yes. I got this book recently, actually at the beginning of summer, from my library for their summer reading program. This is if I'm wanting a sci-fi. I do know that this doesn't really stick to one genre, and I've heard people don't like that, but the concept of this book is just so interesting, and I've seen so many of like my book friends that just like love this book, so very excited to read this. At some point, we'll see if I read it this month or not. Crying in H Mart by Michelle Zauner. Earlier this year, I was going through a nonfiction, memoir, that kind of thing. I got Crying in H Mart actually at a book sale, and it was only like $2. It was such a good deal, and I've been meaning to read this. Interestingly enough, the author is from Eugene, Oregon, which is like 45 minutes from where I live, so that's really interesting. I don't know, I'm very interested to see how much I relate with this book, just because I know the author is Asian American. I don't know if she's full Korean or half, I'm not sure. But I'm half Korean, and so I just am very interested in reading this. And I've actually heard from several people that they think I would like this book and I would enjoy it. So I think it'll be a very interesting read. So yeah, Crying in H Mart. I have A Darker Shade of Magic by V.E. Schwab. I started this book years ago. Like, I think I read like a chapter, maybe 2, and I was so scared of it that I put it down. Like, I was like, I don't know if I can do this. Like, I'm so intimidated by this book. And then I haven't picked it up again since. I'm wanting to read this so bad. I know I'm going to love this series. Like, I know beyond a shadow of a doubt I'm going to love this series. It's just a matter of actually reading it. And then I have A Theory in Dreaming by Ava Reed. This came out at the end of July. Wow, and I still haven't read it. It's the end of August. I'm just so, like, slow. What the heck? I've been, like, dying to read this book, and it's been, like, a month, and I haven't read it yet. That's actually crazy. I'm so excited, though. I gave A Study in Drowning 5 stars, and so I've just been really anticipating reading this book. So I'm gonna read it. I have to read it in September. I just have to. And then I actually have A Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes, but I already read this book. I'm just keeping it out in case I want to talk about it in a video, because I feel like I might want to. So, yep. The books just keep coming, and like, I know I'm not gonna read half of these, but I like to have options. And then I have a lovely stack of books for a reading vlog that I have planned. I don't know that I'll get to it in September, but I thought it would be smart to pull these books aside just in case I do. Maybe I'll be really ambitious in the next 25 days. We'll see. But I have Mistborn by Brandon Sanderson. I have Now We Are Six. It's a Winnie the Pooh book. Love it. Everything I Know About Love by Dolly Alderton, Small Favors by Erin Craig, Fire by Kristen Kishore, Ruin and Rising by Leigh Bardugo, and Crooked Kingdom by Leigh Bardugo. Those are all for a reading vlog that will come later. Like I said, I'm not sure when I will be filming that reading vlog, but we'll see. I just want to have these books available to me because all of my books that are going in boxes, I will not be able to get to them until I move and take them out of the boxes. They'll just be underneath piles of other things and it's just gonna be too hard to get to them. So that's why I'm pulling all these aside. Now, I will say I'll be fine. Like, I do also have my Kindle. I pulled aside a bunch of books. I'm not gonna get to most of these. I do also have my Kindle. My sisters also like to read, so they also have a bunch of books. So we're not short on options. I can always buy a book. I can always go to the library. Like, I'll be fine. I've definitely pulled aside way more books than I need, but oh well, it just comes with the territory. The next time you see me, I might actually be moved. Like, that's kind of a crazy thought for me. But for me, it's like a week from now. For you, it's like in 1 second. So we shall see. Maybe I'll come back before I move and give you a reading update. I'm not gonna hold my breath. We shall see. Anyways, see you in a week. New room unlocked. I'm at my parents' house. This is my younger sister's room. She graciously moved in with my other sister for like the 3 weeks I'm here, so that's great. Basically, I'm here because let's pick my next read. So obviously I have that box of books that I've set aside for myself for the time I'm at my parents' house, and so I haven't started a book yet, so let's just pick one. These are the two I'm thinking of starting right now. So I have The Gilded Wolves, which is, a lot of people compare it to Six of Crows, which I love Six of Crows. I think it has lots of found family vibes, and there's like a heist set in France, which is beautiful. A lot of people say if you love Six of Crows, you'll love this book, so that's why I own it. My fear is though that it's just gonna be like copy paste Six of Crows, but like the Walmart version, because let's be honest, no one can top Six of Crows. Like, that's pretty like unmatched. So I feel like this book is going to try to replicate Six of Crows in a lot of ways. I think it'll fail in a lot of ways, or it'll be very obvious that it's trying to do the same thing as Six of Crows. Anyways, I also spun this for my TBR wheel, the series I'm doing on TikTok. So if you want to check that out, follow me on TikTok. It's pretty exciting over there. Plus, I've owned this book for like 3 years, and so it's kind of like about time, you know? The other one I have, this is like honestly one of my most recent purchases. I got the Ministry of Time. Last year, or was it the beginning of this year? I feel like it was last year. This was like a big hit. I know Haley Pham specifically love this book and speaks very highly of it, and so that, I know, triggered a lot of other booktubers to read this book, and it's got a lot of mixed reviews. The synopsis though for this book seems so interesting. Basically, from what I know, it's about an organization that takes people from like the past and they bring them to the current time period and try to teach them how to live in 21st century. I am kind of leaning towards reading The Ministry of Time just because I'm so intrigued by it. I want to know what the hype's about, and I want to know why people hate this book, like, at the same time. It's only 335 pages. Now, I do feel like it's going to be a little, not dense, but it's not going to be a quick read, even though it's a short book. I just feel like it's going to be kind of wordy, maybe a little lyrical, I don't know. I think it's going to be descriptive. I guess that's the word I'm looking for. I think I'm going to go with The Ministry of Time. So my plan is to just start this tonight and read just for like an hour. Just start it and see what I think. I am in the middle of a book on my Kindle, so it's a little bit like, oops. But what am I not reading multiple books at once? It's fine. I don't know if there's a romance element to this or not. I kind of think there is. I guess we'll find out. Just wanted to give a quick little update, but let's get to reading. These from Trader Joe's are so good. I could eat a whole bag in one sitting. Like, I'm obsessed. super quick update. I'm about to go to work, but I just want to give you a very quick update as I feed my sourdough starter on the Ministry of Time. So I'm like 30% in, maybe like 40%. It's definitely a lot different than I thought it was going to be, because I thought it was marketed more as like sci-fi. It's more of like a character study. I don't know, it's very almost slice of life. You're just kind of learning about these expats, these people from the past, and kind of how they're adapting to being in the modern time. But also, like, that's literally what the back of the book says, so like you should expect that. But I don't know, I think I was expecting that to kind of just be the premise, and then other things were gonna happen. There's odd things going on that I think will build and then lead to something else. Anyway, so we'll see. I am really strangely enjoying it because it's very slow. I just think I really like Graham, the main guy. The girl's great too. But specifically Graham, just because he's from like the 18th century, and so he's very old-fashioned, and so it's very endearing. He's insanely charming, which is something that they mention over and over again in the book. Like, he's like almost like manipulatively charming. He's not doing it in a manipulative way, but like he could easily use it. Like, anyways, I really like him. And we're kind of meeting the other expats now. Well, we've met them, but now we're kind of actually getting to know them better. Side note, I've kind of stopped measuring when I do my sourdough starter, when I feed it, and it's a really bad habit I need to break. Like, why don't I measure? I don't know, I just eyeball it, and then I'm like, oh, it looks like good consistency. I shouldn't do that because I'm not like that good, so I'm still a noob. Anyways, yeah, I'm really liking it. What else I'd say about it? I know people get really mad at it later, like this towards like the second half of the book or something. They just say it like basically changes genres, which is really interesting. I'll be interested to see how I feel about that when that happens, and like kind of actually what people are mad about. Anyways, yep, going camping this weekend, so I'm hoping to make a good sizable dent or finish it. So like with camping, it's either you are reading like the whole time, you're kind of just sitting around and you're reading, so you get a lot done, or it's like the opposite and you are just doing things the whole time, and you're like, we have bikes we're bringing and kayaks, so we'll see. Anyways, this was my last update until I get back from camping. I'll probably take some clips or whatever, but anyways, I just wanted to give you a really quick update on my thoughts before I go to work, because I'm just coming straight home and then going camping. So anyways, talk to you on Sunday. Camping. So it's definitely more the sitting around camping experience. It did rain a couple times, and so it was kind of like, what are you gonna do? You're not gonna go out and kayak because it's raining. So anyways, I got a ton of reading done. One of that being, I finished The Ministry of Time. I actually loved this book way more than I thought I would. I feel like I have so many thoughts on it. I think I'm gonna give it 4.5 stars. The first like 60 to 70% of this book was very slice of life, which is so not my thing. I've never liked slice of life, except on like very rare occasions and specific circumstances. But for some reason, like, I was having such a good time. I just thought the whole thing was super interesting. I thought it was really cute what was going on in the romance that was blooming. I don't know. I enjoyed it. I will say it was definitely a slow read for me. Like, normally I can probably read around a page a minute, somewhere in there. But I don't know. It felt like it took me like an hour to read like 30 pages. So it was just For some reason, it was just a very slow read, but that's not a bad thing. This book isn't long, too. It's only like barely over 300 pages, like 330 pages or something. So it's not like I'm slugging through this book. And I didn't feel bored either. I just think the way it was written is very lyrical. She has a lot of metaphors. And so that was also just, I don't know, slower to read. I don't know what it was exactly that caused me to read it slowly, but anyways, like I said though, I did really love it. It's one of those books I feel like I'm just gonna be thinking about for so long. One thing I will say about it, the pacing of the book was very odd. I'm not honestly mad about it. I was fine. I know a lot of people, after I finished the book, I went on Goodreads and I read a bunch of reviews because I love doing that. But a lot of people were really, really mad about the pacing because basically, like I said, the first like 60 to 70% is slice of life with a shred of action, not much going on. It's really just you're watching the bridge like help integrate these expats from the past. So they're kind of just learning a lot. Their expats are asking questions about like, I don't know what's a bicycle and like TV and modern plumbing, like literally random stuff like that. But it's so interesting. I don't know. I really liked it. Anyways, but then like the last 30-40% of the book, probably like 30%, was like super action packed, and all of these things just started happening and it got really crazy and a little confusing, but it was so good. I love that part so much. I just thought it was so fun. It made me feel like I was reading like a sci-fi action movie. Like it was really fun. I had a really good time. Anyways, but a lot of people were really mad about that because the pacing was so off, because it was so slow and then the end was really crazy. I don't know, it worked for me. I thought it was very fun. For me, I really like the crazy action of things. I find that very entertaining for the most part. I think it's fun, but I also was able to really enjoy just the first 70% that you're really just, it's more of a character study and you're just kind of reading about these characters and their experiences, and like, I don't know, it had some really interesting themes about how kind of what you're told and like the media you take in and kind of the advice you hear from people and the opinions you take in, how that really shapes you and how that can shape somebody. And like, it's kind of impossible to be unbiased. Okay, the romance in this book was so cute. Remember how when I first started, I was like, is there romance in this? It says so on the back, so I don't know why I was so confused. There were definitely a couple moments where I was confused about the romance and I was like, is this actually a thing? Is it gonna happen? I will say one thing, yeah, kind of like what I was saying before, where things just kind of took a really dramatic turn. I felt like that happened with the romance, that kind of bugged me. There was almost nothing in the romance department. Like there was very little, to the point that I was thinking like, oh, maybe there's no romance, or maybe the romance is like between different people. Like I was kind of getting confused about it. But it was like so Nothingsville, but like little shreds every once in a while where it felt like I was questioning, is this like, how a lot of times you're reading a book and you're like, okay, the main character's questioning, oh, was that like them trying to be flirty or romantic, or is it just me kind of making it up in my head and it's just a normal thing? That's how I felt. I felt like I was the main character and I was like, was that really them trying to be like romantic, or was it just like them being a normal nice person? Like I was gaslighting myself. But it went from that, turned the page, and it was like, whoa, they're sleeping with each other. It felt like, okay, where's the middle? Where's the admittance of feelings? Like it was so weird. That to me is why the spicy scene was just like, why is it there? Like it felt wrong. It just felt like so out of place, and like kind of like it was just shoved in somewhere in the book so that way there could be a spicy scene in here. Like she just found a way to fit it in. Anyways, I really enjoyed this book, basically. Yeah, I'm gonna be thinking about it for a long time. Like I just feel, oh, the end, I wanted to cry so bad. Like not even like for any real specific reason. I think it was just, I was just feeling a lot of things with this book, and it was just like, okay, but I didn't, because it was like I was surrounded by a bunch of people sitting out on a camp chair, so I was like, let me not. But I thought about it. I did think about it, but I love this book. I had a really good time reading it. Yeah, highly recommend. I had such a good time. Now, if we recall, I was gonna read Gilded Wolves, and I see it sitting on my desk right there. But I went on my Kindle to start it, and for some reason I don't have it on my Kindle. I have the second book on my Kindle, not the first one. And so I was like, great, what am I supposed to do? And so I ended up starting a completely different book. I started reading The Dead Romantics by Ashley Poston. This book is not a part of my TBR box that I have set aside. I don't even own this book. But you know what? I really wanted to read it, so there we go. I've been wanting to read Ashley Poston for a while. I read The 7-Year Slip last year. I actually read it while I was camping last year. I adore that book. I'm pretty sure I gave it 5 stars. I love that book so much. And since then, I've been wanting to read more of her books. I actually have randomly read Among the Beasts and Briars. Is that what it's called? I read that one too, which I didn't even know it was by her until I'd finished it, actually, weirdly enough. And I did start a novel love story, but I did not like that one. I think it's because I did not like the audiobook narrator for it. I don't know. It was just weird. And so I read maybe 15% of that and then put it down. I think I want to retry that one, but like not do the audiobook. Anyways, Dead Romantics. Ooh, I'm liking it. I'm like 25% in maybe. I have no idea. I'm really liking it. Basically, from what I gather, Dead Romantics is about Florence Day. She lives in New York City. She is a ghostwriter for a very popular romance author. So basically how ghostwriting works is, in this example, Florence writes the book and then they publish it under the name of the author, whatever her name is, I can't remember. And then that's how it works. Anyway, so that's what she does. That's her job. And like almost nobody knows that's what she does. Like maybe like 3 people, because she's signed like non-disclosure. She can't tell anyone. Anyways, how it starts is she's in New York and she has hit the deadline for when her romance book needs to be done, or the author's romance book, when it needs to be done. So she has like 1 day to turn it in and she cannot get another extension on it. But she kind of, what you find out is like, oh, a year ago, her and her boyfriend broke up in this horrible, tragic way. And so now she doesn't believe in love. So Florence can't get an extension on this book. And life gets worse because she gets a phone call from her mother and her father has died. So she basically goes home for the first time in 10 years to help with the funeral. One other fun plot point to this book is that Ashley Poston always puts in some sort of magical element to her books. So in The 7-Year Slip, there was like an apartment building. It would randomly jump 7 years in the past. You don't ever understand the rules of the magic. That's fine. You just go, okay, sounds good. And you just agree to it and move on. Basically, in this book, Florence can see and talk to ghosts. So at the point I'm at, I have not seen a lot of that yet. There's been mentions of ghosts and her talking to them, but there hasn't been like so much. But what has just happened makes me think, okay, we're about to get a lot of ghost content, which is great. I'm here for it. But anyways, I am really liking it so far. I'm having, honestly, like so much fun. I feel like I'm in my romance era, which kind of sucks because it's September, and so I should be in my fall autumn era, but here we are. One thing about me, I don't feel like I'm a seasonal reader. Like I see some people, I'm like, gotta read the last of my, my summer romance books now because summer's ending, or like, oh, it's fall, now I can finally start reading fantasy books. And for me, I literally read any genre any time of the year. I do think sometimes like books will hit harder with certain atmospheres. Like I remember when I read House of Salt and Sorrows by Aaron Craig for the first time, it was like the middle of November or something, and I just remember it was pouring down rain, and that was the perfect setting for that book. Like it was actually perfect, and it did add to my reading experience. But I also am a weirdo, I guess, and I will sometimes read like a romance book, like a summer romance read in the middle of winter. I like it. I think it's fun and it makes me think, oh, I'm excited for summer. Like it kind of, I don't know. Anyways, so that's a little fun fact about me. Anyways, Dead Romantics, I'm really enjoying it. I definitely should read more off of my physical TBR that I set aside for myself, but I really couldn't remember what books I had set aside besides Gilded Wolves. I knew I had set aside Darker Shade of Magic as well, but I was just like, I don't want to start that series right now. So, oh well, I'll have to go back and look at my box. But yeah, I think that's my whole update. Yeah, I'm gonna keep reading Dead Romantics and get back to you soon. Okay, quick update. I'm at an Airbnb. You can't see the view very well because of the railing here. I'll take a video, but it's super pretty. That's like a little inlet from the beach. It's so cute. I'm on a little trip in Washington. We're doing lots of driving, and so there's a lot of reading time, which is great. But tomorrow we're gonna be in the car for like 6 hours or something. I'm just going to and from Olympic National Park and just other things. So I want to give a quick update on where I'm at book-wise. I drove for like 4 or 5 hours today. I didn't really read any in Dead Romantics. I don't know why, but I'm 36% into this book on chapter 14. So that's my update on that. I've only read a couple chapters since I last updated you on that, so nothing really to add. I did randomly start Crying in H Mart in the car because I have the audiobook. It's on Spotify. And so I don't know, I wanted to start it, and it is so sad. It's basically a memoir of Michelle Zauner, I think might be her last name, I might be wrong. And it's about kind of her growing up in a half Korean household. So her mom is fully Korean and her dad is Caucasian. And it's about her mom gets cancer and passes, and it's basically we're following kind of how that affects Michelle and her family, and then also like the connection she had to her Korean heritage. It's been super depressing. I'm like halfway through just listening to the audiobook. I have the book physically, but I didn't bring it, so I didn't know I wanted to read it. But it has been so sad. But it does relate somewhat to me just because I have the same heritage where my mom is fully Korean, and she moved here, went to the US when she was like 5 years old, and then my dad is Caucasian, and so that part is interesting. I will say my upbringing though has been leaning more towards the Caucasian side rather than the Asian side, so I don't fully connect with all that. My mom also doesn't really cook a lot of Korean food. My Hanmoni, on the other hand, though, she cooks a lot of Korean food. But anyway, so it's basically how they connected through food, and just, I don't know, it's been really sweet, and I definitely have been like, oh, this is totally like something I relate to in some spots. It's been really cute so far, but it's been so sad. Mainly sad. It's been super depressing. Like halfway through that book. I'm gonna guess I'm gonna finish it tomorrow. It's not very long. I don't know how many pages it is, but it's only like 7 hours or something, and I'm listening on 1.5 speed. So like I said, I'm halfway, so I think I'll probably just finish tomorrow because we'll be in the car a lot. Anyways, I think that's the whole update. I think I'm gonna read out here for a little bit just because the view is so pretty, even though you can't really see it. Let me just like, and that's so cute. It's so cute, the view. Anyways, I'm a big fan. But anyways, I think that's the whole update for now. Probably update you tomorrow night after my day of driving, but yeah, just wanted to give you a quick little, tell you where I'm at, what I'm reading, all the fun stuff. Yeah. I've actually been home for a few days. I haven't read anything though since getting home, so I haven't made an update, but there's actually a good amount to update on. I feel like I've been bad lately about updating on where I'm at with books, so sorry, because this is no different than that. Since we last talked, I have finished Crying in H Mart by Michelle Zauner, and I also finished The Dead Romantics by Ashley Poston. So I'll start with Crying in H Mart because this is the one I finished first and the one I last talked to you about. I basically just audiobooked this whilst I was on my Washington trip. I really liked the audiobook because it was narrated by Michelle Zauner, the author. So whenever I've read a memoir, if I notice that the audiobook is narrated by the author, and if I'm able to listen to it like for free, then I'm gonna do that, because I would love to read memoirs. It's based on someone's life and like, or a certain period of time in their life, and so it's nice to hear it from their mouth, you know? Also, if you can hear the piano in the background, my sister's practicing the piano. Please ignore. I don't rate memoirs. I don't know, it just feels kind of weird to do that, so I'm not gonna rate this, but I did really enjoy it. I think, like I said last time, it was so sad though for like a lot of the book, because it's following like the death of this girl's mom and how that affected her, and like you see their relationship from the beginning, and yes, it has lots and lots of ups and downs, but like her mom died. Like it's so sad. but I felt like it was well written. So Michelle and her mom connected a lot through food, specifically Korean food. And so there was so many mentions of different dishes and just lots of food in this book, which made me so hungry when I was reading, or I guess listening to this. I was like, wow, that sounds so good. Oh, wow, that sounds so good. Wow, that sounds so good. And what was perfect, when we were driving back down from Washington, there's an H Mart like an hour from my house, an hour and a half. And so we stopped there on the way home. And I was like, yes, this is amazing, because we got a bunch of Korean food. It was amazing. It was great. One thing I really liked about this book is, so Michelle wrote it for her mom. And it tells like her story basically. But I liked that even though it was for her mom, it was to honor her mom and to show how much her mom meant to her. It wasn't just like all the highlights of like, oh, my mom was so great and she was this kind woman and she was all these amazing things. It was very much honest and showing the highs and the lows, and like the mistakes her mom had made and how certain things that her mom did really affected Michelle negatively. Obviously lots of things positively and lots of great stuff about her mom, but there was definitely both sides, and I appreciated that just because I felt like it was more true and it was more real. I wouldn't say it was like my favorite like non-fiction book of all time, but I did enjoy it, and I would recommend it. Okay, I just changed the angle. Don't know, I was filming the other one, but okay, the other book I finished was The Dead Romantics by Ashley Poston, like I said. I really enjoyed this book as well. I don't know exactly what I want to give it yet. I'm torn between like a 3.75 and a 4. I definitely didn't like it as much as The 7 Year Slip, but I did really enjoy it. I feel like I'm gonna give it 4 stars. It was so fun. It was so cute. I honestly love the magical realism in Ashley Poston's books. I love that they're not complicated. They're very simple, and there's not really like an explanation of like why the magical realism is there and why, like in this book, our main character could see ghosts and talk to ghosts. We don't know why. And even in the book, someone's like, oh, so why you? Why can you talk to ghosts? And she's like, I have no idea. Sure, I accept that. Cool, sounds good. Like, I like that because especially like in a romance book, you're not really reading it for the magic. You're reading it for the relationship and the characters and like, you know, what's going on with them. And so it's not like I need this huge info dump of like, this is why the magic system, this is it. It's really complicated. It's really like whatever, but just go with it. Like, that's not what I'm looking for in a romance book. And so I like that it's just kind of like, sure, you don't really know why it is what it is. You don't really know why it works that way or why, you know, this is what's happening, but you accept it, the characters accept it. I like that. It's very simple. Anyways, with that said, I loved this book. Ashley Poston, I love her writing. I feel like she writes things very simply. I've read 2 of her books now, and the MMCs are just like, they're kind of one of those things where they're so fictional, where it's like, hey, you are literally the perfect man. Like, sorry, that's kind of fictional, but like, I enjoy it. I was really curious to see like how their relationship was gonna work out based on like the fact that he's a ghost and she's alive. And so I was like, I wonder how this is gonna work. I was not disappointed. I thought it made sense. It worked for me. I'm obviously not gonna tell you because that's a spoiler, but I think this was Ashley Poston's first adult romance. Might be new adult. I thought she did a great job. Anyways, I love Ashley Poston. I will continue to read more of her work. I'm not quite sure what I'm gonna read next with the housing situation. Obviously, this is a moving diaries, what I'm reading while at my parents' house vlog, right? This is what I'm thinking. I still have Gilded Wolves. I'm definitely wanting to read this. I feel like this is most likely to be my option. I might change my mind though. I'm known to do that. I'm known to say I'm gonna read a book and then read something completely different. So we'll see. You'll see in the next clip. I guess if I'm reading The Gilded Wolves, we'll know. But let me know, I guess. Hey. So I moved. This is the book room. It is not set up fully yet. My bookshelves, don't look at them because I have not set them up. I just put the books on the shelves, get the boxes out of the way. But this is the book room. Get used to this layout. It's so cute. I'm so happy. Because I'm in this house though and I moved, that's the end of this reading vlog. Remember how I said I was gonna be reading Gilded Wolves? I read about 2 chapters of that. Where is it? Oh, it's on the shelf here. I'll grab it. I don't even think I put a bookmark in here. Like I literally read so little. I didn't. I think I read the prologue and then part 1. And so I literally didn't even read chapter 1. I read almost nothing. It was a very, very busy September. So I was just gone a lot. Obviously I was moving. I was helping my sister move. So it was just like really chaotic. So it was very overly ambitious of me to think I was going to read all these books in such a busy month. Like that was a little bit crazy. Yeah, so because of that, I didn't finish this. I barely even started it. I'm not even going to consider it as I started it. I was intrigued by the first like prologue, I will say, so I think I will be reading it eventually. But my reading has just honestly been on pause for like a week. So it probably will be on pause for like another week. So I'm still like moving. Like I've moved, but I'm still setting stuff up. Like I said, my bookshelves aren't done. Like I just have things to do. But yeah, sorry, this was a little bit of a interesting reading vlog just because I know I just didn't update on the books I was reading very much. Like I said, it was a busy month, so I do apologize for that. Not my best work. But obviously now I'm in this house, I have to set up my bookshelves. So the next 2 videos of my moving diaries are going to be, I want to go through and count how many books I own, and I want to go through and see how many of them are unread. So we'll be going through my physical TBR. I'm afraid last time I counted it was over 100. It was like 140 or something. I have unhauled some stuff. I honestly saw some things on my shelves I'll probably unhaul. I'm hoping that number has been dwindled. I also though went to a book sale last week and I bought like 10 books. So that's amazing. I have a problem. It's okay. Also, my birthday's coming up and I have lots of books on my wish list. It's okay. You know, we're just gonna work through it and books are there to be read, so it'll be okay. But yeah, physical TBR, how many books I own, and then also organizing my bookshelves. Hello. Now I will say these ones here, these are actually my sister's bookshelves. So those, ignore them. Those are hers. She's organized them already to how she likes them. The only 2 that are mine are the ones behind me. And I also have a bookshelf in my room that also needs to be organized and set up. So you can look forward to those 2 videos coming up hopefully soon because wow, do I need to do these bookshelves and like get them looking nice because they look. And honestly, it's kind of, I like the chaos of it. It's kind of cute. But at the same time, I just know that series aren't even next to each other. And so that really just hurts my brain. But since I have moved, that just concludes this reading vlog. Yeah, I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you found it entertaining. Like I said, you can look forward to my other 2 videos in my Moving Diaries series. But yeah, that is all for now. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.